Everything in this universe moves. From the smallest electron around the nucleus to the largest galaxy spiraling in the deep space. But have you wondered, why does nature prefer the rotation motion? Why do planets spin? Why do wheels roll? Why does every form of motion somehow connects back to rotation? And if there is rotation, then how this rotation is going to happen? What all factors are going to affect this rotation? Can we also predict that how much an angle will be covered by an object in some time, and how fast it is going to rotate, and what are the factors on which it will depend? Welcome to the story of rotational motion, where we uncover the hidden laws that govern every spin in this universe. Myself, Swami, B.Tech from IIT ISM Dhanbad in Mechanical Engineering, and I am teaching physics from last 5 years. So let's begin right here. When we come to this rotational motion in our 11th grade, or if you are not a 11th grade student, so then maybe you must have studied somewhere else, or out of curiosity you must have come over here. So, but you must have some idea of the linear motion. So what happens? In linear motion, things move in a straight line, like when we are going on a car in a highway, so, or otherwise you are sitting on a chair and then you throw a ball in the air. But in rotational motion, the word is something different. Instead of moving forward, things turn about an axis, about a center, or sometimes about themselves. Like every point on a rotating object moves in a circle, but not all circles are equal. The outer points travel faster while the inner points move slower. Yet they all complete one rotation together, and that's amazing, right? That's the beauty of rotational motion, harmony in motion. So try to imagine a ceiling fan. The center hardly moves, but the tips of the blade cut through the air at a very high speed. The same body, same time, yet different speeds. That's the magic of rotation. To understand rotation, we first define what's rotating: the rigid body. A rigid body is an object in which the distance between any two points never changes, no matter how it moves or spins. Like you can think of, like you take any mat or any sofa or anything. So when you jump on the sofa, it will squeeze, and the distances between the points will change. But that we cannot consider it as a rigid body. But think about it like the chair or the anything which is made out of metal or something. So it will hardly change. But in reality, nobody is a perfectly rigid. Even steel will bend slightly, but we assume it to be rigid for simplicity, otherwise it will become very complex. Think of a spinning book. Every point on the book turns together, keeping its shape intact. That's a rigid body in rotational motion. Okay, so when we say rigid body, we mean no stretching, no internal motion, just pure rotation about an axis, or otherwise pure translation motion. Here are some examples of the rigid body. And here there are some examples of non-rigid body. A rigid body can show two main kinds of motion. One is the translation motion, the other one is the rotational motion. Of course, there is the third category as well. So in the first category, In translation motion, every point of rigid body moves in the same direction, covering equal distances like a train moving in a straight line. Now the path is not necessarily a straight, it can even be curved, right? In rotational motion, the body spins about a fixed line called the axis of rotation, like the earth rotating about its axis. And sometimes both happen together, and that's the rolling motion. A rolling wheel is translating and rotating at the same time. I understand that this rolling motion becomes a bit complicated, so we are not going to go much in the rolling motion. Let's right now stay on the rotational motion only. But still, just to understand this idea, let's take one more idea for the rolling motion. Like when you are riding on a bicycle, so then the wheel moves forward and spin, but the point touching the ground is momentarily at rest. That's perfect balance between the translation and rotation, which makes it so fascinating and complex. When you start noticing it, you will realize rotation is everywhere, from gears in machine to the planets in orbit, or even the electrons, even the everything which is around you, basically. Just as we describe linear motion using displacement, velocity and the acceleration, we describe in the rotation similar quantities. We have the angular displacement, that is the angle turned by the body. Sometimes there is question that angular displacement is a vector or a scalar. So I have a separate video on that. You can watch that video. I will just attach the link of that. And then we have, similar to the velocity, angular velocity. It tells us that how fast a rigid body is rotating. And the third thing is angular acceleration. It tells us how quickly the rate of rotation is changing. So here this angular acceleration is going to decide that what kind of calculations we will do. If alpha is 0, so then we can directly say that the angular displacement is angular velocity times of time, because angular velocity is constant. So you can just multiply the angular velocity with the time and you are going to get the angular displacement. The other place we can have angular acceleration to be constant, it is non-zero constant. In that case, like we had the equation of motion, like we have v equals to u plus at and then s equals to ut plus half at square, and v square minus u square equals to 2 times of as. Similarly, here in the rotational motion, we'll have similar equations. The first equation is omega equals to omega naught plus alpha t, delta theta equals to omega naught t plus half alpha t square, and the third equation is omega square minus omega naught square equals to 2 alpha delta theta. These are the rotational kinematics equations. They tell us everything about how a body rotates, just like linear equations describe straight line motion. Let's take a quick example to understand. There is a wheel which is at rest initially, and it has a constant angular acceleration of 2 radian per second square. In 3 seconds, how much does it rotate? We need to find out the angular displacement. So try it. See, the second equation, we can say angular displacement is equals to omega naught t plus half alpha t square. So omega naught t becomes 0 because the initial angular velocity is 0. So from there, delta theta is half alpha t square, and half times of alpha 2 times of t square 3 square. So you get 9 radians. That's about 1.5 rotation. So see, equations are quite simple, but they are very powerful. You can just use them to find out anything related to the kinematics. Now, what if the angular acceleration is very variable? So in that case, you need to do little bit calculus to find out. And one more thing, this angular velocity, it has the direction. We use right hand thumb rule to find out the direction. So how do we use that? You curl your fingers of right hand in the direction of the rotation, then your thumb of right hand is going to give you the direction of the angular velocity. So like you can try these examples and try to find out what is going to be the direction of the angular velocity. And that's how the universe tells us which way it will spin. So today we explored the foundation of rotational motion. What it means is how rigid body moves and how to describe the rotation with equations. In the next part, we will go deeper into torque and moment of inertia, the hidden forces that decide why some body will spin faster while the other will resist the motion. You are watching This Time with JEE Swami, where science meets curiosity. You can explore other videos available on the channel related to the rotational motion, where I have covered in depth very tough questions and a very related question to this. It is going to help you very much in the understanding of the rotational motion. Thank you very much.